Good morning, everyone. Did you think I was never coming back? I was beginning to think that myself. For those of you that don't know, I haven't really done a video since the first part of April. My husband had hip replacement surgery, and neither one of us realized the time it would take and how hard it would be for him to kind of recover. He's almost all the way back, except he cannot bend over for 12 weeks. So he's got about 6 more weeks of not being able to bend down and pick up anything he might drop. But he's improving. He's doing so much better. I'm not doing very much for him anymore except helping him get his shoes on for his surgery leg, and I'm thankful for that. So today I'm back, and I've had this card. I was going to do this video 2 weeks ago, and time just didn't work out. But this is actually a graduation card, and it might be kind of late for some of you, but maybe you have later graduations. I needed a ton of them, and so that's why I decided to come make graduation cards. And this is the card, and I made it into one of my favorite layouts, or fun fold, I guess. It's a book. I call it a book fold because you glue this part down and it kind of opens like a book. And I'll show you everything that we're going to be using. We're using a stamp set that was in the last mini catalog that was carried over. It is an online exclusive, so you won't find it in any kind of catalog. But if you go to my store and click on the online feature, all of the online stamp sets are, and everything they have online, which is quite a bit now, is listed there. So it's called the Cap and Gown, and we're using quite a few. We're using this one and this one. We're using the hands. Only thing we're really not using is this over here. So it's a fun set, and I'm going to hang on to it because I'm always needing graduation cards. For our inks, we are using Memento Black, and we'll need a little bit of Versamark for heat embossing. And we'll be using several different blends. For those of you not familiar with blends, they come in a dark and a light. So this is my Night of Navy, dark and light. We're also using some Daffodil Delight, and this is one of their skin tones. They have a whole array of skin tones from very light to dark, so that's kind of nice. We never have had those before. Everything I have, the stamps, and then I have the inside greeting on my Stamparatus. And then this is some retired ribbon that I wanted to use up, so I'm just going to be using this for the ribbon on the card. So in your packet, you will have a card base. This measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and then it is scored at 5 1/2 and 4 1/4. Okay, then you'll have a couple of pieces of basic white, and these are 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. This is going to go on the front. This is for the inside, and this is a 4 by 4 square. You'll have some designer series paper, and in this case, you'll have cardstock and designer series paper. The cardstock that I'm using, this is one of the new colors that they brought in. It's not really an in color, it's just being added to our collection. It's called Basic Beige, and it really works. It's a great neutral. So this one is let's see, I don't have this right. I think this is 4 1/4. No, this is a 4 by 4. And I gave you the wrong measurements on this. This is a 3 3/3 by 3 3/4. I'm gonna have to retrain myself, guys. So this one is, oh man, I'm getting this all messed up. This is 3 3/4. Let me double check here. Yeah, so this is a square 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 that's going to go on the front. This basic white piece I wrote, oh, I see, it's 3, yes. So this is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and it will be layered on top of this, and this will be layered on top of our basic beige, okay? Then you'll have a 1 inch, let's see, is this 1 inch? Let me see. Yes, this is 1 inch by 4 1/8. Then you'll have a little piece of designer series paper. This is 7/8 by 4. It's going to go right on there. And you'll have a small piece of Night of Navy. This is 1 inch by 2.5, and we're going to be doing some heat embossing on that. So I think to get started, we will get our stamping out of the way. And we will need both pieces of the basic white. So on the smaller piece, which is the 3.5 by 3.5, I have taken the hands from the stamp set, and as you see here, they're actually 2 separate stamps, but I wanted them together, so therefore I loaded them on 1 block, and we're just going to kind of stamp those in the middle with our Memento Black. You had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I don't know how it could be that time of the year already, but it is. So I'm just going to kind of center the hands in this, between this, on this 3.5 by 3.5 piece, and that way you get both hands stamped at the same time. And then in order for me to judge where the hat is going to go, I am going to take this, and it'll be, well, actually, I don't need to do that. What I need to do is take my, this piece and kind of place it up here so that I know this is the one we're going to heat emboss, and we will trim the corner. But I need to know exact kind of where I can place this hat so I don't interfere with the hands. And so I'm going to do this. And I'm going to kind of stamp it like so. Okay. Then on this one, let's see, actually I'll do the inside first. Boy, sorry guys, I'm all over the place today. Okay, let's look at the inside. So the inside, all I did is I stamped my greeting, and then I just used the little diploma stamp and kind of did 1st and 2nd, 3rd generation stamping off. And I need to run grab one other ink pad. I didn't bring it over here. Okay, I need the Night of Navy. So in addition to the Memento Black pad and the Versamark, we're using a little bit of Night of Navy, and it's really just for the inside. I'm going to cover this up before I put my fingers in it. And then we're just going to take this diploma stamp, and I'm going to just, oh, you know what? Let's do our greeting so I know where I'm stamping. I will get back in the swing of this, I promise. Hopefully now I'll be back on schedule for my weekly videos. We're still going to PT quite a bit, and of course he can't drive yet. And so I do have to drive him into there, but he's not taking up very much of my time anymore. Like when we first started, it was quite the chore. Thankfully, he had very little pain. He had horribly sore muscles in his surgery leg, and they're still kind of tender, and it's been 6 weeks. But they were so bad at the beginning that I could not even touch his, like his calf or his upper thigh. Couldn't even do it. Now I can at least touch it and put some medication on it, and of course it is getting better, but boy, it was quite the chore. Doesn't look like I have this very centered on that way, but we'll fill that in with the diploma stamp. Okay, now we'll go back to this. And I just kind of filled it in however I felt. Don't get yourself I'm pushing too hard. Don't get yourself a shadow like I did right there, but I do have an eraser that's pretty effective about taking those off, so I'm not going to worry too much. Okay. I haven't even been in my craft room all that much with everything that's going on, but that's getting better. I hope by now all of you got your new annual catalogs. If you did, I'm sure you realize they're quite different, arranged quite differently than they ever have been in the past. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I'm finally getting a little bit used to it. So now that I have this done, I'm just going to actually put it on the inside. Put this all down with my stamp and seal. I hope to get back to classes. Well, I am getting back to classes this month. We have actually not had any for 2 months. And I don't care what happens. We're going to have class. I do have VBS in between, so that'll be kind of interesting, but it's going to happen. All right, and then the only other stamping that we need to do, well, actually, there's a couple things. First of all, if you notice on the envelope, oh, and I didn't mount that stamp set, and I bet it's over. Oh, no, I did, yeah. Did I? No, I didn't. Hold on. Yes, I do have it. I will have to take this one off. I think I'm done with that one. Put this little tiny stamp on this great big block. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our envelope, and you can see here I put 3 graduation caps on the bottom corner, and then on the back I put them along the flap. So we're going to do that real quick with our Night of Navy. So I just did a full strength one, and then I did one not full strength, and another one second full strength. Okay, and then in the back, I'm not going to do very many of them just because you all know how to do this. I'm just going to stamp, again, same scenario, stamp off, stamp, stamp. Okay, and I'll finish that. I will eventually fill it like I have here. Okay, now I think we're done with the Night of Navy. Okay, we will take our little tiny piece of Night of Navy, and I didn't show you this in our supplies, but we are going to be using silver embossing powder, and I will stamp this with our Versamark, and this one says, "Congratulations, graduate." I kind of put it over to the left because I am going to angle the end, the right-handed end. Okay, and I know you can't even see that, but I will take my silver embossing powder. I think I have some tweezers. We will pick this up. We'll take the embossing powder, and I usually do it a couple of times. Put the lid on here so I don't have powder everywhere. Now I think, I'm not sure if you can even see how that's on there. And I'll take it over to the studio and hit it with my heat tool, and it will melt that powder and make it all shiny. And then I'm going to you'll take your scissors, here it is embossed through the magic of television, and you'll just trim that off, and that's going to go on the front of our card. It will also have dimensionals on the back of it. Okay, now I think we're all done stamping. We're ready to start putting our card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 4x4 sheet of basic beige cardstock. I'm going to take my designer series paper, which 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. This is actually out of Take to the Sky. It's one of the new designer series papers in the catalog, the new catalog that you just got. And it's all about airplanes and stuff on this side, but the reverse side, a lot of them are nice, just simple patterns. We will be doing one of the, oh, look at there, I got embossing powder all over my thing. No matter how hard I try to be careful, I always manage to do that. Let me see if I can get that off, otherwise it'll be all over everywhere. You can see my messy desk. I hide things underneath my pad. Notes and that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, we'll take this, and we'll take that, and we're going to center this as best you can. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been stamping a lot, so my centering is, I got to get my eye retrained. Okay. Then we will take this, and I didn't really want to do this one first, so we'll take my, oh my goodness, nothing is where it's supposed to be. I guess we will do this first, so we're going to put this on here because it'll be folded here. So we will just put it, again, trying to center it as best we can and as straight as we can. That'll go on there. I guess I couldn't put this on anyway because I have other things to do with it. Now we will also build this one. So here's your 1-inch strip. Here's your 7/8 inch strip. And I turn it this way because it's easier. This is extremely, oh, and I usually look at this because some of them I got cut a little long. This is a very tight border. Okay. And then this, I don't know what happened to my silicone mat that I usually put down when I'm doing gluing, but it, oh, there, wow. There it is right there, ladies. I found it. Okay. And then this is just going to be centered on the flat piece that's going to be glued down. Okay. All right. Now the only other thing we have to do is take our ribbon. You have to do this before you glue your little flap down or you don't have any ribbon. And just take that, cut a piece off. Try and get it in the middle. I am actually not going to tie bows since most of these are for guys, not, I had a couple of girls, but I use my reversible tweezers as my third hand. Put this through. Take out my tweezer. Pull that down tight. And let's see if I have any. No, I thought I had some glue dots in here. As I can see, oh, I do have them. They're just hiding from me. So what I did, I want this bow to kind of stay in the middle, and it's really not in the middle yet, so I'm just going to pull it that way a little bit. So I'm just going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to use my pokey tool, because it's not in there either. And I'm just going to take that, put it in the middle, and push my bow down on it. That way it'll stay. And take my scissors. I like to always do my bows at an angle. Okay, now I'm glad I did this before. I still have coloring to do, and this way this can get kind of set. It does take a little work to get this to stay down because you've got quite a bit of thickness here with the ribbon and everything. Oh, and guess what? This finally ran out. So what I do is I take this, I just hold it down for a minute, and we will take once I get this, take my bone folder, and I run all along the edge, and as usual, I always have a little bit that comes out. And I run it up here, I run it along here. And this is the side that seems to not want to stick very well until it's set for a while. So I just take this, I push it down, and then I take a block and I just set it on there. And actually, I think I might open it up. Let's see if that works. Okay, there we go. Okay, now here is the rest of our front piece, and this is where we're going to do the coloring, and I'm not going to do all of it because I do have one already partially done. But what I did, I took my dark Night of Navy, and since the inside of the gown sleeve would kind of be shaded, or I would, now my Night of Navy blends are, new ones are ordered, but I'm not going to be able to do very much of that because it won't show. But anyway, you take this and you kind of go in the places where it would be the darkest. And then you take your next one and you just color this. And I usually use the bullet tip. These come with two different tips, a brush tip and a bullet tip. And when I'm doing smaller pieces and I have to follow a line, I use the bullet tip. And I just go along the edges, turning it however I need to be able to stay in the lines because I'm not the world's best colorer. And then you go down and you just fill this part in. You do circles, little squares, up and down, however you like to color. Like I say, I'm not the best person to color. You're going to do the same thing up here on the flap, or the hat. You're just going to take your Night of Navy and go along the edges and then fill it all in. For the little tassel, I used the dark daffodil, and again I use the bullet point because this is really small. You use very light pressure, and I just went down, followed these black lines down to the bottom and kind of filled it in a little bit so it would look not too bad. And then the only other thing I had was the skin color for the hands, and again it's just a matter of going down using light pressure so you don't go outside the lines, and you just color all of the hands, and when you get done, voila, you have that. Okay, so we are going to take this and we're going to put it on the front. I see whenever you can start seeing the red in my Stampin' Seal, I know it's getting close to the end, but I'm going to have enough to finish this, I'm sure. Okay. And then we will center this on there. And then the next thing you do is you take your backings off of your dimensionals. And we're going to center this. And I went right up to the edge of the, and I got my hat over a little bit too far. Doggone it. So I'm going to move, yeah, I should have moved my hat over a little bit. But anyway, it's okay. I wanted this to look like he was just throwing his hat. So there it is. Actually, we are done. I'm sorry that it took longer than I would normally take. Here's the one we just completed. And then here's the sample that I made from earlier. And you can see this when I got the hat down where it should have been. It'll come back to me, ladies. I think it's like riding a bicycle. You never really forget, but it does take a little practice. So there you are. Thank you so much for taking time to watch my video. I will try my very best to be back here with you all next week and get back on schedule. And we will be having classes towards the end of June, and I will be sending out the invites for all of that. So enjoy your day or your evening whenever you're taking the time to watch this, and may God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.